did a collaboration with, which I'm sure you've been watching. Before I do that, I just wanted to just basically talk a little bit about the show that we were supposed to do today. I want to say very sorry to everybody, for the cancellation because due to the weather that happened here in Las Vegas, and we were at soundcheck. We were getting ready to go, and it was great. It was awesome. Hopefully, depending on what they do, if they, I don't know, reschedule, or I don't know what the situation is, but we were ready to perform. So, anywho, just want to say sorry to all the people who might have flown in or wanted to see the show. And if you didn't get a chance to see us for this, we have some things coming up. Obviously, I'm doing a solo tour in Europe. Tickets are still on sale over there. It's going to be late June, and then I'll be heading back to North America, for some more shows, and then working on some really cool stuff with BSB as well. So can't really say what's coming up, but anyways, why we are on today is because I released a song with a friend of mine. We're going to call him Rocket. That's his name. And been kind of doing some stuff with these guys for a little bit of time, and became really good friends with they have this whole community on YouTube, which is really dope. And they're called Rocket Gaming Music. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Rocket on, and we're going to do a little... Oh yeah, I want to say, everybody, Cancun was a ton of fun. It was awesome to see you all there. Can't wait to do that again in the future. That'll be awesome. Jason Derulo, great performance. Just 4 days of just so much fun there. So, yeah. So, anyways, I got to get Rocket on real quick. So hold on. Let me see if I know how to do this. Hold on, how do we do this? Hold on, do I just go add? Oh, request to join. Duh. Hold on. Oh no, those are requests from you guys. Okay, there we go. I got it. Rocket, what's up, dude?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing?
I'm good. I look like a grizzly bear these days, but we're doing good.
So, I want to introduce you guys. So we have basically two communities kind of colliding right now. We have obviously our community, Backstreet Boys fans, Nick Carter fans, and then we have your community as well. And so, everybody, this is Rocket, and he's a part of what do you guys call the community? What's it called?
So, Nerdcore is the community that we are in. Rocket Music is our group. So the other half of Rocket Music is Vinny. So makes up the two of us make up Rocket Music collectively, and yeah, we put out a pretty wild song today.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. No, and I think what's really interesting to kind of just kind of catch people up to how and why we actually got connected in the first place. So I would like to basically tell the story. So my son, he's 8 years old right now. He obviously loves YouTube, and he's kind of into these, like, I don't know what they call them, but they're like these almost like animated but dark characters. What are they called exactly? Is there any, what do they call those?
I don't know if there's a name for it. I think it's just, the space that, our community really thrives in. Nerdcore, right, is a vast, I guess, term for music about nerdy pop culture stuff, right? But like the rocket music, where we focus in, and where your son, I think, probably likes a lot of this stuff, is the darker themed content, right? That's like it kind of toes the line between, you know, it's like it's like a character that can resonate with everybody. It's got some cartoonish elements, but it's also got some dark undertones and mature themes that are kind of fun to play with and stuff. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
so
I think
I basically, he was watching, these first of all, he loved these characters, and like it kind of started off with like Siren Head, and then it was like all these what's the guy that created Siren
I
Head?
knew you were gonna ask that.
I
Oh
can't
my gosh,
is he's legendary basically. So to explain
Trevor,
it to you,
it's Trevor something. It's
yeah,
Trevor
yeah, it's
something.
Trevor. Yeah, so he was one to create Siren Head and all these things. So he was watching these like characters on like YouTube, and then we went down the rabbit hole, and then fell into this other, like all these different animated characters, these intellectual properties that like people just would create, and they just live on YouTube, right? And so basically people would start to either recreate them, but no one knew where they came from. So you have like um uh Siren Head, Lighthead, like cat, was it Cat Nap?
Cartoon cat.
Cartoon Cat, yeah, Cartoon Cat. Like that was one of the things he was into as well, and then so, anyways, he really loved it, and then he fell into like started to watch these like videos that had these songs that somebody or people were creating off of these characters, and they were doing these animated videos, and that's when we started, kind of like my son and I and our kids and everybody we were listening to, and we fell into rocket music, and then we started listening to the music, and I was like, okay, fine, yeah, the characters and the cartoon characters and all the animation is really cute and fun, but the songs were really good, and I was like, okay. So as the artist, I'm like, okay, who? I start to think, who is this person? Like, where is this person from? Who's creating this music on Rocket? And so that's when I just decided to reach out to you, and I think I Instagrammed you, I
The actual
messaged you.
Instagram story is hilarious because you messaged me and you said, "Hey, dude, my son likes your stuff. I've got some ideas." And I'm like, this has to be a bot, right? Like, no way. And then it like auto deleted. And I'm like, no. And then you texted me your number, and then I called you, and you're like, I'm at karate or something. And
Yeah.
I told my wife, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to think that maybe this actually is Nick. And then you call me, and we're in a drive-through at In and Out, and I remember, this is so dumb, and I pick up the phone, and I look at my wife, and I'm like, it's Nick, and she's like, yeah, it's Nick. And I get out of the car, and I walk away, and I remember the Bluetooth changing over to her phone,
It
and
was,
she's ordering French fries, and I'm just like, no,
dude.
what are you?
It was so funny because I'm talking to you. So you guys were in two different cars,
No, I
or something.
walked out to like leave because
Oh,
our
you
kids
got
were
out
in
of
the
the
car.
car because you were to
Yeah.
talk to me, and so it kept switching back, and I hear someone going, like, "Yes, I like some large fries and a hamburger," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, what's going on here?"
So, and yeah, it went all downhill from there. But yeah, we were in the middle of moving across country at the time, and I was like, this is just a lot going on, and it was crazy.
Yeah, no. So, but anyways, I just thought like, okay, I'll just reach out to you, and I just really, it was organic. My kids were into it. I love the music. I was like, listen, for me, selfishly, I was like, I just want my son to, because he won't listen. He doesn't really like listen to Backstreet Boys music. Like it kind of is played every now and then, or if I put my songs on, he's like, all right, whatever. Let me just listen to Rocket real quick, and so he'll put Rocket on. So selfishly, I'm like, okay, I kind of want my son to hear me. So I felt like, okay, I really would love to work with you, but then it turned into something else, and it got like, as I continued to become friends with you, and I continued to listen to the music, I was like, you're extremely talented. Like one of the most talented writers and producers I've ever met. And so I was like, I would just love to work with you. And so then tell everybody a little bit about so how you guys, what you guys do when something like a trend comes
Yeah.
out or something happens like with these animations or these different things.
Yeah, so appreciate all the kind words. We have like me and Vinny, who I co-write pretty much everything with on Rocket, and he does all of the lyrical side of things to our videos. And we also have this amazing team. Our animator, his name is Salty. He's based in South America. And we've got an amazing, our modeler that does all our models for stuff. So we have an amazing team behind us on the music side of things. But when it comes to like the content, right? And this goes for everything. Let's use Digital Circus that just came out as an example. Um, there's these amazing waves in pop culture that we are sort of keeping a pulse on all the time, because if you're not, then you're, falling behind. So you keep a pulse check on what's going to be trendy and fun, and that also vibes with your community. And then you have to sort of like, you have to work really fast. This is a different pace than your traditional industry would maybe be. Because, like, dude, I think I called you on Monday and I was like, bro, listen to this. You got to be
Yeah.
here. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, and it was like, boom, we just like, boom, 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 got it done. Because if you miss the trend and you miss the wave, then you sort of, it's not as relevant as it could have been. So there's this like very much, it's time sensitive to creating this content about these trends. And so it's really important that you're able to act fast and make quality content in that time frame too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was so impressed at how fast you can turn a song around. Like, I've never seen it before, and I've worked with like amazing producers before, but I've never seen how quick you guys turn it around. And so technically, like, incredible. And but again, to explain to everybody how it works. So, as an example, you called me up one time and you said, hey, there's this trend going, on the YouTube world, and now Smurf Cat's coming. And I'm like, what the hell is Smurf Cat? I'm like, all right, hold on, let me just like sit down and just listen to you, right? And so you're like, look, Smurf Cat, this thing, like everyone's like into it, like they're fans of it, it's a whole nerdcore thing, and so you sent me like the picture of what Smurf Cat was, and you said what we're gonna do is we're gonna create like a lyric video off of it, and we're gonna create a song. And so you sent me the song, and you said, "Yeah, I'd like for you to be on the song." And so at the time, I was like, "Listen, I, kind of whatever. I'll just keep it anonymous and kind of not let everybody know that I was doing this kind of stuff, because I was doing Backstreet Boy stuff and my solo stuff, and maybe try to do." But
You're
then I
also
was,
like, who is this Rocket dude? He might be insane. So let's like
yeah,
test the waters.
yeah, no, no, not at all, not at all, no, not at all. And but because I was thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, maybe I could use like a gorillas kind of thing, and but then I kind of just whatever. I was like, this is getting way too complicated. So long story short, we basically did a character called NCX. NCX was me with you guys on the Smurf Cat song. So you can go look up. I think it's on Spotify and it's on all the streaming platforms right now as well. And there's a video that you had, and so you put that up on Rocket Gaming as well. And so you can see Smurf Cat and hear the song's dope. And so that's kind of how that went. And yeah, so we basically we changed our minds, and we said, hell, like whatever, let's just collide, let the communities come together.
I think it's
So, and
I think it's a really, for one thing, again, selfishly on my side, one of the things we've said for years, and I mean years, we've been doing this for 15 years on, doing nerdcore music, and I've said, when this happens, it's going to shake up the whole world, right? It's going to, because look, it's not like proper industry has done this before in like in a way that doesn't feel genuine, because it's like, oh, we're going to hire whoever to do this song about our movie, and that's different, right? Because that's a paid like commission almost, right? This is like your actual passion and interest and your involvement in nerdy culture and nerdy things
100.
meets this like other sort of venture that we've been doing and pushing on the nerdcore side. And it's just like, it's very real, it's very different, and it actually means something when someone like yourself, who has been a traditional mainstream artist, comes in and says, hey, like, I support this and I want to be a part of it. It's super, it's amazing, and we're like so stoked that you are a part of it.
No, dude, I gotta say, like, it's an honor just to kind of just be invited into your community because like everybody, like my fans and like a lot of people know, I'm just a nerd at, at the core. Literally at the core, I'm a nerd as well. I've played video games since I was little. Um, I, I I go to Comic Cons, just to I don't even obviously there to visit the fans and stuff that I see, but I'm really there as a fan myself. You know what I mean? Because I love nerdy stuff. I love comics and I love movies and yeah, and video games and that is another thing that we shared in common because I was I was like, okay, it's so hard to get into the gaming world. Like it's like literally lock and key. Like nobody lets you in the gaming
Right.
world. Like the developers, nobody. It's like I mean, I went in. I had done some stuff where I had seen Fortnite before it actually came out, and I was kind of there as they were drawing everything up, and visited my friends, out there in Carolina, and but I was like, hey, they're like, nope, like you're not, like no one will let you in. And then I started to understand that you guys were into developing games as well, which you have a game too that you've been working on. And so let's tell everybody a little bit about what that game is.
Yeah, appreciate that. And you gave a little bit of a tease shout out on your Instagram, so that's awesome. But yeah, so I'm developing a game called Don't Fret, and it actually started out as a children's book for my daughter when she was born, and it's taken a very, very stark left turn. So it's no longer a children's book by any
Yeah,
means. It's actually a horror game, but it's about a guitar that you play, and he's a high school aged guitar, and he sort of is looking for a way back home in this weird musical world, and all the characters are sort of Tim Burton-esque and horror elements and
yeah,
very musically themed and stuff. So it's sort of like it's like an homage and an exact product that like your son, right, would probably love. It's
yeah,
like because that's our fan base is that, and I know that I want to like build something true for that fan base, and that we've been making this horror themed music and like dark gritty stuff for so long, and I want to give back and say, hey, here's my take on that. And it's also set ironically in the like early 2000s, and so maybe there's a spot for you to have
yeah. Put a
some.
poster up on the wall.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it is, we're trying to bring as many musical artists in the game as well. And I'm very forthcoming with like what I want to do. I want to have like a jukebox in the game that includes all artists all over with nerdcore. And I mean, if there's folks like, yourself that want to be involved with that, it's like that is something so special and cool for this community to say, there's this cool little thing in this bigger game in this bigger world, but it's like a moment to like appreciate the music about it. And so
Well, yeah,
it's going to be really fun.
yeah. No, I'm really excited about it. I saw because you have a trailer up of the gameplay, right?
We have a trailer up. It's an announcement trailer. We're working on a game, like official gameplay trailer here in the next couple
Yeah,
months. But
not
yeah,
the
it's a
gameplay,
ways.
but the sample of what it
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
like.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's got visuals. You see the main character and the enemy and all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that game as well. So, let's talk a little bit about the song that we released this morning.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, you contacted me again. You said I have this awesome song. I listened to it. I was like, this is a hit. Like it's a bop. Like it really is amazing. And I'm like, done. I want to do it. And but Digital Circus. What
yeah.
exactly is Digital Circus?
So for those of you all who don't know what the Amazing Digital Circus is, like I act my wife doesn't know what it is, and I'm like it has 400 million views on YouTube or something like that, the first episode. So like those kind of numbers are out of control. That means it's like an absolute international just mega hit, right? So
Yeah,
it's about these characters that are trapped in this like digital world. So it's kind of like, you know, they don't give away the whole story, so you don't really know, but it's about these characters who get lost in a video game essentially, and they're
yeah,
stuck and they're trying to get out, and it's called the Digital Circus, and there's these like very quirky characters, and it's not so different than things you would see done before on mainstream networks like Cartoon Network or
Yeah,
like late night MTV, but it's done on YouTube now, right? And it's this very it's amazing the animation team that's behind it. They're called Glitch Productions. They do another show called Murder Drones. Very high quality content, but it's got this like I'm not going to say it's a kids show, and there's a lot of people who I've seen like, oh, my kids love this. They might love it on the surface, but there's a lot of really like adult undertones, right? So it's like
yeah,
they do a great job. They identify that line that they kind of need to balance on to make both sides of that coin resonate.
yeah,
So um, anyway, the new episode came out yesterday, and it's about the characters going to this candy land, right? And so when I was writing this, I hadn't seen it. They put out a trailer, but I knew we wanted to make this like as relevant and as possible to come out today. So I was like, well, you know, I want to be generic. We want to be generic enough, but like, what's the theme of this? Like, let's have some fun with candy, this candy theme, right? So
yeah,
like being a prisoner of this candy land was sort of like the theme of the song.
yeah. It's
and
so good.
and it's got this really, here's what's cool about this song is like the Smurf Cat song, that was very like, I mean it's modern new alternative pop, but this song I feel like was more of like a combination of genres. It was like big pop chorus, right? And
Yeah.
then it goes into this like this kind of like melodic alternative like hip
It
hop.
know what it gives me vibes of? I swear, like every time I hear it, and I hate comparing things because obviously, look, we're always influenced by other artists and
Sure.
stuff like that. So I grew up like I loved Linkin
Yeah.
Park, and it has like it almost has that like when he would go out of the rapping a little bit into like the melodic. It definitely has that kind of thing going on. I don't know if
Yeah.
you feel that.
So Linkin Park, I would say Linkin Park and like 21 Pilots on the alternative side
Right.
is where I really hit home with in songwriting, right? And then, not to call out the Backstreet Boys, but frankly, like, you guys were my first concert ever when I was 9 in
Yeah, you
Anaheim.
told me that, dude. How old were you?
I was 9
Oh
in
my
Anaheim.
God.
So, you'd have been, well, I was 20 or
Yeah.
something, right? So like that's that we saw you during the Millennium tour is when my mom took me, and I remember being like, dude, my mom is like number one fan, which she met you down in Mexico City, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Nick took my mom backstage, which was super fun. But
Yeah.
yeah, she's fangirling super hard.
Yeah, she was awesome. And
Um
so she had a
but
lot of fun there.
so like the sort of the musical writing that I do and Vinny does as well is like this boy band pop genre and era of the world. I think is some of the best songs that have ever been written of all time. I mean, like
Oh
hands
man,
down,
thank
th-
you.
those guys, I mean, all of it. It's like those that though it lost its way at some point because music changes, and so for me to be able to come back and say, hey, like let's reintroduce this and let's
Yeah.
put it together with new alternative stuff that we
Yeah.
do, and it's a very cool different sound
There
altogether.
is definitely a lot of nuances. There are a lot of similarities in the and I just think it's melody. Like good melody, great lyrics, and right now with the videos and everything that you're doing, in the YouTube world, I just think the combination of the three are really like it's very familiar, and it's nostalgic. I guess it feels nostalgic in a way, but also feels fresh and new.
And modern,
Listen,
yeah,
listen, Backstreet
yeah.
Boys and our whole boy band era. Like, look, we were nerds. Like we were nerd at the core back then. We were so nerdy that I tell this story. This is so funny that I would go to the malls, you know what I mean? And it was always like the hate was everywhere. It was like if I'm walking down, they like in the height of it, like Millennium album, maybe the album before that. If I anywhere I'd go, the hate was there. Like guys would be like, "Oh, Backstreet Boys," or they'd be like, "Tell me why," like, and they'd sing it, and or they'd be like,
Well,
"Backstreet Boys."
that's because their girlfriends were
And
all
I'm like,
drooling
yeah,
over you.
yeah, okay, yeah. I'm sorry, dude. I'm didn't mean to. Yeah. So, but anyways, we were always nerds at the core, and I guess contrary. even though we were popular, we were also unpopular in some ways and
Sure.
accepted it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so I think at the end of the day, it didn't matter. We just keep doing what we do and love what we do, love the music that we do, love our fans, and anyways, I just feel that there's a lot of similarities in our communities. You know what I mean? That kind of that we share. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We really don't care what people think. We
No.
just love what we love and we do what we do.
I mean, I
You
couldn't
know
have
what I
said it
mean?
better. Yeah, think about this too, right? The world of the nerdcore world that I've lived in has been an uphill battle of just getting people to accept you're making music about nerdy stuff. Like that's the primary goal of what we do, right? So that's been an uphill battle. It's finally accepted. I would say that, right? It's like people get it, and it's no longer lame. Like it's very much cool to be a nerd, which I think is why the
Yeah.
shift is
Yeah,
here.
and so I need those. I think my daughter took your glasses. So I think she took them to school. So I need another pair, bro.
Easy. We got a box of them. They're coming your way.
It's so funny. All my kids and my daughter Saoirse, my middle daughter, she literally like singing your songs like all the time. Like it's all my kids just sing your songs. And
I
and I'm
mean,
and I'm telling you, so to let everybody know, you can go to Spotify, you can go to Rocket Gaming, and you can hear all the songs that you've written, and your catalog is incredible. Like it is
thank you.
incredible, and it is such quality music, and it's very refreshing to hear it. So
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
definitely excited to work on it. I did want to say that we have some ideas. Obviously, like again, you guys can go out and listen to the song. It's going to be on YouTube. Are you going to be putting this song, "So Sweet," as well up on the streaming platforms?
It's there. It's everywhere. I think Spotify got delayed today, but it should be there
Okay.
tomorrow. So it's all over. So you can hear it on any platform.
Okay, sweet. So everybody, you heard that. You can go there and listen to the song however many times you want. Obviously, go to Rocket Gaming YouTube as well to just go through all their stuff. I swear you will not be disappointed. You're going to be really excited. But you and I are talking about doing some more stuff together. So I'd love to kind of I've been working on solo music for, I'm always working on solo music. We were talking about how people used to create albums because we would create albums as the Backstreet Boys, and that was the thing. It's like, oh, you put out an album and then it'll sell like a million record, whatever, and then you try to beat it. But nowadays, it's not really about that,
No.
right? Yeah. How has the music industry changed in your opinion when it comes to releasing songs and albums?
Yeah, I mean it's all so different with how people digest content, right? It's like before there was not, I mean, look, the amount of accessibility to music is just quadrupled, tentupled since 20 years ago. It's so different. So to think that, people will digest the music the same way, it's not the same, right? So people, from my perspective, I think people have an easier time and attention span on singles, right? And they resonate with singles. And not to mention, you can get connected to the artists so much more frequently than you used to be able to. So putting out music, we put out music every week, which is it's honestly exhausting, but it's amazing, and we've been doing it, so I don't know when that'll end. But
Yeah.
the reality though is that the more you can connect with your fans and they can hear your expression in art and all of that good stuff, the better. And you know what? There's no reason to like sit for 10 months on a 12-song album. Just release it as it comes, because it's not doing anyone any favors. You're doing the fans a disservice, unless for a particular reason for the art, as a collective, it's different, right? So
Yeah.
it just depends on. Here's what I think. I think there's a really great business model from music releasing where you get to be creative and release music more frequently with singles, but then at the same time, you can maybe have something like on the back, a little bit larger of a project maybe that comes out as a whole, and you sort of
Yeah.
fulfill all those
Yeah.
buckets.
It's like more
Um,
of a collection, right?
yeah.
It becomes a collection. But I think that's the beauty of it. I actually was thinking about some of your songs. Like some of your songs are actually shorter than, you know what I mean? Like 2 minutes.
Yep. Those are So last week's song was 2 minutes, and we did it for a few reasons. Number one, we're testing some things, and so like part of what we do is test the way that people by like industry standard is, I mean, that's rare, right? But we wanted to test like people's retention on the song, and then how often it was streamed because it was short. And also, for what it's worth, cut to the chase, man. Let's do the good stuff. Let's get in. Let's not
Yeah, for
fluff
sure.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree with you. It's really interesting how like everything evolves and everything has changed. So to kind of go back to what I was starting the conversation, this part about the conversation was, we we're gonna write music for you and I for my solo as well. And so we actually have a song that you sent over to me. Oh, I don't want to tell everybody what the title of the song is yet or what it's about or possibly, but you sent it over to me. I had this idea, and immediately you sent back a guitar and vocal. I was like, oh, this is it. I love it. Like, it was great. So I'm gonna
That
be writing music
that was
with
written,
you.
by the way, in the shower, just humming stuff. And my wife was there, and she goes, "That's it," and I
Really
was like, "That's it."
nice. Yeah. So
Literally
yeah.
making it in the shower.
So yeah. Yeah, so we'll be writing music together. I'm just going to be putting it out when it comes. But it's an honor to definitely work with you, and I'm really excited that our fans are able to hear this this song today, and you know shout out to the nerdcore community. I love you guys. Thanks for letting me in the clique. Like,
Dude,
appreciate it.
likewise, we're honored to have you a part of it. Truly,
Yeah.
I mean, I hold back a lot, but you don't know how exciting it is for me to have someone that I looked up to musically for so long, right, be a part of what I'm doing today. And so we're making history. I'm telling you that it's
Yeah.
truly historical. It's historical landmarks happening in nerdcore and in your world too, that we'll look back and go like we started this new thing, and it's awesome.
Absolutely. And then now, one last thing too. When I come to, is it Folsom? Where?
Yeah,
Yeah. I want to bring you up on stage with me. Let's
we're
perform
doing
this
it.
song.
Yeah,
All right.
dude, let's do it.
So, what's the date again? Dude, I never look at my
I
tour
want to
dates. I
say
don't know why.
I want to say it's October 19th.
Okay.
It's one of those it's one of those dates. So
Yeah.
yeah, I called Nick and I was like, dude, you're like coming 15 minutes away from where I live.
Yeah.
Like, we got to do it. So yeah, we're
Yeah.
doing it, man.
I'm bringing you up. It's happening. So it's
Dude,
gonna be awesome.
awesome. Awesome. Well,
All right,
man,
man. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us today to talk about real nerdy stuff.
dude,
And check out the song "So Sweet" is out right now everywhere. You can go to Rocket Gaming Music and you can check it out. Make sure you give Rocket a follow. Give them subscribe to their channel. If you're new to it. And I look forward to the next time, probably Instagramming live in the studio with
yeah,
you. You know?
dude. All right, brother. Well, congrats on a great song this week.
Yeah. Thanks,
And
brother.
we'll chat
All
soon.
right,
All
man.
right,
Give
bye, guys.
hello to the fam.
All
Late.
right.